we're getting you big voices. And on the sidelines of the MK conference, we caught up with Sunil Vachhani. He's the executive chairman of Dixon Technologies. Listen in to what he had to say about the company's plans for expansion, collaborations, India's independence, and more. There's been some turbulence in the recent past, right? The last 1 month, particularly with regards to tariffs in the US. Is this a serious speed bump? Is this something that we as a country tide over, and particularly the sector which you represent?
Yeah. So I think, these are exciting times and challenging times for us in the industry. Exciting, because we sense that we are sitting on a very large opportunity of making India the next hub for manufacturing of the world. And why we are very confident about this, because we, in this very short period, after PLI was launched, we have created a massive scale for manufacturing the finished products, especially if you look at a product like mobile phones, where there is a substantial capacity that has been created in a very short period of time. And what is happening now is that the industry is working very hard to ensure that a supply chain ecosystem is set up. So we ourselves in Dixon are in the process of setting up plants for camera modules. We've already announced the major stake in a company which is already doing that. We are in the process of setting up a new facility for doing display modules. We are setting up a new facility for doing mechanicals. And we feel that once we have done that, we will take up the value addition to almost 40% in a product like mobile phones, which was hovering around 18%. And no country, to my mind, has done this in such a short period of time.
Sure.
So I think it will be a great thing, done by the industry, and thanks to the government for the proactive policies due to which this has happened. Well, now to talk about the challenges. Well, tariffs are obviously a challenge, but as of now, the way things stand, mobile phones are in the list of exempted categories or exempted products, where there is no duty being charged on India or on countries like Vietnam. Yes, China is paying that tax of 20%, with the fentanyl tax, which was not exempted. So right now, this is how things stand. But as we speak, this list is likely to be reviewed at the end of August. But we are hopeful that the exemption will continue even beyond that period.
I'll be forced to ask this to you, but sure. in case some of the US majors are forced to review their investment plans into India, if indeed the exports out of made in India products, mobile phones, etc., what have you, does come into effect, does it slow down what otherwise could have been a very nice pace of growth, especially for you, which is like you capture the imagination when it comes to mobile phone value addition. So therefore, sure. This question to you.
So if you look at the hubs, the key hubs for mobile manufacturing is, of course, China, Vietnam, and now it's India. And we feel that because of the huge advantages that the country offers in terms of a large domestic market, an ecosystem already developed, the government is very keen to promote manufacturing. We feel because of these reasons, India will continue to be one of the major hubs for manufacturing mobile phones. See, let's appreciate that these ecosystems are not very easy to create, right? And besides the two other countries that I talked about, there is no other country which is giving that kind of impetus to mobile manufacturing. So I feel this issue is a temporary issue, and hopefully things will settle down. And once things settle down, I can assure you there's no stopping us.
Got it. Could you, there is so much of talk around how you yourself are trying to partner with big names, getting big names into India for what you just said, a mobile ecosystem.
Sure.
Can you help us imagine what that could look like? Because for a layman, what she or he is seeing is a company which is manufacturing back-end parts for mobiles, one by one, adding on new things. What do you mean when you say that you're trying to create this whole ecosystem?
Yeah. So I think for this ecosystem to be set up in India for the long term, I think there are 4 pillars which are going to be extremely critical. The first pillar is going to be scale, right? So we need very large scale to be globally competitive. And that's what we'll have to focus on as a company, as an industry, and as a country, right? So issues about land allocation, setting up mega factories, those are the things that they're going to come and play. The second issue is going to be supply chain. So as I mentioned, that we cannot be globally competitive if we do not have a strong supply chain within the country. And that work is already on. And I mentioned about a foray into products, components like camera modules and display modules. So it's headed in the right direction. The third issue is going to be on skills, right? Manufacturing is going to be very, very different from what it is now. And I think it's important that we have a large centers for skilling our people to take on the future challenges on digital transformation, on Industry 4.0. And finally, I think as a country and as an industry, again, we'll have to look at designing more and more products. We'll have to emerge as a products nation. And the focus will have to be on, not just on make in India, but designing products in India.
How far away are we from there?
Well, I think we're not very far, and I think a lot has happened in the last 10 years. But like they say, picture abhi baki. I think the journey has just begun.
No, so let me try and rephrase my question.
Sure.
While you may have borrowed some money from your father back in 1993, if I'm not wrong, as I read, and you built out this company back then, but the real impetus probably came in 2016, 17, as the case may be, right?
Yeah.
So the last 10 years journey, does your next 10-year journey, and for you and maybe for the ecosystem, dwarf what's happened in the last 10 years, you reckon?
Sure. I'm often asked this question that what happened exactly, that how did this change suddenly come about?
Yeah, right? It's a hockey stick, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, whenever this kind of thing happens, the biggest change that happens is the change in the mindset. Right.
Okay.
Almost 15 years back, our Honorable Prime Minister gave this call that, let's make in India, let's make India the hub for manufacturing. And honestly, before that, I used to find it a task, to go and convince people that, we should be manufacturing in India. So I think once that kind of call comes from the top, things change dramatically, because everybody started saying, that tell us what can we do to make sure it happens. Right. And I think that's what happens in companies, right? That call comes from the top, or that at least that vision is set, and then things just fall into place. So I think that's the biggest change. And of course, the policy initiatives have been amazing. And I think Indian entrepreneurs have really risen up to the occasion and have done a tremendous job. Because I remember, going on my road shows during, when the IPO happened. This is about 8 years back, 2017. And the first few meetings weren't great at all. I wasn't able to convince them about the opportunity that existed in electronic manufacturing. So I think that was the biggest challenge that time. But I'm very glad that now we have the interest of our investors. Now there are, I think, more than 6 or 7 companies in our space listed on the stock exchanges, doing very well. They've provided good returns to shareholders. And suddenly, we are able to fill a room whenever you go for investor conferences, like it happened today. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah, most certainly. Well, those guys who missed out in 2017 must be ruining their chances. For the last couple of very quick questions, I know you have a flight to catch. Yeah. One, I'm still trying to understand. Maybe it's difficult to answer, in which case tell me so, but could the next 10-year journey dwarf what's happened in the last 10 years? Could it?
Absolutely. See, if you see what has happened in the last 10 years, we've just scratched the surface. Right, the numbers that the global market for electronics is $3 trillion, right? And we are at about 3%, right? $130 billion. So this has just started. So what's going to happen in the next 10 years is going to be transformative.
Got it. One last question, Mr. Vachhani, because we're doing this on the eve of Independence Day. A lot of India is an entrepreneur-filled country now. A lot of startups, etc. I'm asking you to go into the minds of a Dixon startup founder. Maybe you started in '93, but the real trajectory from 2016. Yeah. What's the message that you would give to budding entrepreneurs who kind of look up to people like you and think of how they can make their journey like yours?
Yeah, I think the message is very clear. The next 25 years, 50 years, 100 years belong to India, right?
Okay.
We have a large market. We have large pool of talented people. We have the design skills in India. We have everything going for us. We just need to believe in ourselves. We need to believe in our abilities. We need to empower our people, right? And we've shown that, in factories where we have our Indian operators, and in some factories we have, down south, we have 85% female workforce, right? And they have shown that they're the most productive in the world given the right kind of environment. So empower our people, make a great team, and, just believe in them. And that's it, things are going to happen.
Well, that's Dixon for you, and you need to look no further if you're looking at a manufacturing giant in India.